Okay, looks like we're all here. This time I would like, or I will call this meeting to order. Ask for roll call from our county clerk, please.
Todd Horton,
Here.
Roy Alden,
Here.
Brian Lambert,
Here.
Justin Travelstead,
Here.
Chuck DePriest,
Here.
Casey Perkins,
Here.
Danny Gibbs,
Here.
Mike Barnhill, Jeff Guard, Kurt Hustedy,
Yes.
Gene Ellis, Williams.
Here. Okay, at this time, I would like you all to stand if you're able. I'm going to ask our chaplain, Chuck DePriest, to lead us in prayer, and then after that, remain standing. And Casey, would you lead us in the pledge?
Start, yes. Father, we are so thankful for the opportunity to live life. And Lord, we're so thankful that we got to be born in such a great nation as the United States and in such a time as today. Father, we pray that you would guide us and give us wisdom, that we can make good decisions that will benefit our children and grandchildren, that will benefit this community. We pray, Lord, that even though when we leave here tonight, as always, we don't always agree on everything, that we can be agreeable people. We pray, God, that we can set a higher standard for our community, especially those that a lot of times on Facebook where there's a lot of drama. Lord, we want tonight for facts to come out, and we want to be wise in what we do. We just ask you to guide us, Lord, in all that we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Face the flag, salute, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Before we get started, yes.
Peter, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda a little bit. I recommend to change the Captain Bush appointment to fill the position until November 30th, 2026. The agenda doesn't really stipulate the term. I think Mike's term is actually longer than that. And so something will have to be done in caucus or something to fix that later in the year.
Okay, motion to amend the agenda. Is there a second? Second by Gene Ellis, all in favor?
Can we discuss
Yeah.
that?
Okay, let's go here, one at a time. Yes.
I'd like to make a discussion on it. In reading, just about what Roy said, we're in our time when the vacancy must be filled within 60 days. The chairman of the county board has the advice, with the advice and the consent of the county board, to make the appointment. It's got to come from the same political party. The appointee cannot serve the full remaining 33 months of the term by appointment alone, according to Illinois statute. We fall under a 28-month rule. If more than 28 months remain in the term at the time of the vacancy, the appointment is temporary, which is what Roy just said. It can only go until November, okay?
Okay, and I'll tell you that I've done the research, everything you're reading. If you want to keep going, you can.
And
But we're gonna let it
that's the thing that is, and then Roy makes a comment, we would have to have a special election, okay? My question is, would we vote for 8 people in November for the county board instead of another appointment being made by the board or the chairman, and let the people of this public and domain vote for the 8 people and those people not be appointed? Because what we were going to do tonight is appoint someone and then turn around in November and appoint someone else. This is why it's up for discussion. Can we just,
Jim,
It is my understanding that you have to appoint someone within 30 or 60 days. And then there will be, whoever you appoint will serve until November 30th. And then on the ballot will be a 2-year unexpired term for county board. So then there'll be I think it's too late to do the caucus. There'll be a resolution by the central committee. And then independents, I think, can file petitions. There's a process to get somebody on the ballot, but it will be on the ballot. There'll be the 7 that are already on there. Is it 7 or 6 right now? Whatever's on there right now, plus 1 for a 2-year unexpired term.
Well, I would like to yield to Jerry Duff Watson, our Republican Central Committee Chairman, because I'm assuming you had a recommendation.
Yes, I gave a recommendation, several weeks ago to the chairman.
Okay,
My recommendation was, Mark Mathis.
Is he here tonight?
Precinct committee, man of honor, and he works hard for the Republican Party. That's as far as it went. I never heard anything else from Dave until I saw last night, or the night before last, when the agenda was published, that he wasn't being brought forward to the county board.
okay.
It's always been the tradition that the chairman, I don't think it's a law that he has to, but it's been a tradition that he takes the recommendation of Saline County Central Committee.
So it's always been past practice.
That's always been past practice.
Okay.
okay, let's take this one step. Let's get there. We haven't got there yet,
Oh, we're getting there though.
but we haven't got there. So let's continue to follow the agenda. Okay?
Okay.
Has anybody got any other questions? You had your hand up, maybe?
have we amended the agenda?
Not yet,
Okay.
Go ahead.
but we're gonna discuss it later, right?
Say what?
Are we gonna discuss this again later?
Well, yeah, we haven't got there.
Jared Duff still got the floor.
I got one
No,
more thing.
no, wait a minute, guys. Hey, this meeting has the potential of getting out of control. Now, I'm not gonna let that happen.
Okay.
One at a time, and I will call on you. You do not make the point that
And you don't either.
Yes, he's
I
our
do.
chairman. He is our chairman. Okay, well,
I'm the chairman,
We all have a voice, is what I'm saying.
so sit still.
okay.
I'll let you speak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My other recommendation was that no one whose name was on the ballot for election was not appointed as a temporary position that you're talking about. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, now, can I have a motion to amend
Well, we've got a motion and a second. Roy made a motion and Jean seconded it. And the motion was to extend the appointment until November 30th of 2026, with the understanding that would be on the ballot and an expired 2-year. On the
But we
November
legally
ballot.
can do that, can't
Pardon?
we? We legally cannot extend it that far out. We have 60 days.
No, you have to appoint within 60 days.
We're just amending the agenda.
Whoever you appoint will only serve until November 30th, 2026. And then you'll get to vote on who you want.
it? And I will read that when we get to it, please. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I think we should do a roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call,
Okay, this
please.
is amending it. Okay. Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Odom,
Yes.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Trowstead,
Yes.
Chuck DePreez,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Danny Gibbs,
Yes.
Kurt Hustedy,
No.
Gene Ellis. Yes. Jay Williams.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And that's on page 2, if we haven't got there yet, okay? Going down to the, okay, I want, at the time, this is not on your agenda, but I would like to call our county board manager to give us an update on the opioid project, please.
Oh, sorry. In your packet, there's some information that was sent over. She's gonna come and talk about it next month, but it's a proposed project to take some of the opioid money that we have, that can only spend on certain things. But I didn't want to throw it on you last minute. You guys get all this information and vote on it now. So I went ahead and gave it to you, so this next month when they come back, you kind of know what's going on. But there's a lot in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, also, I think everybody should have a letter. I know you have a letter in your packet from the Judge William J. Thurston, Chief Judge of the Circuit Court. Basically says that he does not allow cell phones as far as cameras in the county board meeting phones. If anybody has one, we need to shut them off. But we do have approval to use this one from our chief judge, so we do have that. Okay, that's in there if you want to read it. Got a copy of it. I have to have all 13. All right. Okay, we got that taken care of. Let's go to the minutes. I would like a motion to approve the minutes for January 22nd. I have a motion by Chuck DeCrease. I would like a second, Trustee Travis said. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that carried. Thank you. We have no unfinished business. I will tell you though that I did talk to Brad Housewright, Provalis, he comes and speaks to us periodically. He wasn't able to come tonight, but everything's still going, still rolling on. And I really, really, truly believe this is gonna happen in the city of Harrisburg. So I know there's a lot of naysayers and it's taken a long time, and I can look at Ryan, and Ryan, you've been there from day one, and I appreciate all that you've done. I really think it will happen. So just a little update. Okay, no new business that I know of, but we have a chance for our office holders to speak for 5 minutes if they choose. Yes, sir.
I just want to make a couple recognitions tonight. First one, and some of you started with him, Reverend Alan Porter, recently passed. Yesterday was just a funeral and visitation. But in addition to serving on the county board, he served the community, and I want to give him recognition for that. Before he was on the county board, during and after, Alan, he served in jail ministries. I can't tell you how many hams he bought for inmates, how many truckloads of produce he brought up. He bought pizzas a couple times a month for the inmates and rotated from restaurant to restaurant. He was a pastor his whole adult life. So just for the service he provided Saline County, the inmates, and his Lord and Savior, I just want a quick moment of silence for Alan Porter and his passing. Alan was a good guy and a part of the community, not just as a county board member. Some of you served with him. He had a huge following, and you couldn't talk to Alan for more than 5 minutes before you figured out he was a pastor because you got a sermon. One day he called me, he was on 13, they don't allow land out towards you called me on 13. The horse out there has put the top advantage and called. He got to help us work, so I got fired in the back. I'll run out there. So I get out there and we cut the wire and put it back. And I was trying to get back in my truck and go. I was standing on the side of 13 and Alan gave me a sermon. But I just wanted to thank him for his service to the community, the county board, the inmates, and that's all I can say about it. The other thing I want to give recognition to is the Saline County deputies. We were just recognized this week by Mobile Team Unit 15, which is a training authority for law enforcement in the state. We are the first agency to complete the Tactical Police Officers Association. It's a Tactical Police Officer through the ITOA, which is Illinois Tactical Officers Association. And MTU 15 serves the southern 27 counties. We're actually go a lot higher than that before you can find another agency. You'd be hard pressed to find one at all. There are roughly 30,000 police officers in Illinois. Less than 300 are TPLs. And so that means that our guys are trained in the top 1% in the state. What a lot of people don't realize, classes that we used to take in law enforcement were extra things that you took. You were almost one and done when you got out of the academy. You got out of the academy and then you could select training, you could get investigative training, you could get crime scene, you could get search and seizure additional training, but that's changed with the Safety Act. Crisis intervention, de-escalation, emergency response, officer wellness, procedural justice, human rights, cultural competency. There's a lot of classes that are added, that are continuing education that used to be something extra, but now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is required to take it. So I just want to recognize the deputies for, in addition to the mandates, which is on a 1, 3, 5-year cycle, we still take the crime scene, the investigation, all the classes, but in addition to the TPL. So I think it's kind of a big deal. It is to me, and I'm pretty proud of the group that we're the only agency from Effingham South. So at least the bottom third of the state is a completed program. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other office holders here that would like to speak? Okay. All right, let's go on down to the agenda to Budget Finance Committee. Our Chairman, Ryan Lambert.
Mr. Chairman, this time I call Adjournment.
Good evening, everybody. So 2026 Treasurer Report, February 2026. So we started the month with a general fund balance of $471,967.96. Then we had revenue for the month today, $822,676, which brought us to a total working fund of $1.2 million, $94,643.96. Our expenses up to today was $709,067.27. Brings us a balance of today $584,986.69. And our claims we signed tonight were $268,862.85. We think is going to probably leave this balance again at $316,123.84. So we're a little bit better than we were last month. We still have $224,000 out to the state of Illinois, waiting on grant monies from our transition grant number 2. So hopefully that will come in anytime. And then we also have $2.4 million in corporate reserves as of today. There's 7 CDs. Just to backtrack, so I came into office in 2020. We were setting the county had a net position of $11 million. Today we have a net position of over $25 million. We have 0 debt, 0 short-term debt, and we actually have $1 million of employee liabilities out there on our books. But we also were able to, in the last 6 years, secure $1.3 million to set aside for those liabilities. So, and at the same time, you hear taxes, they get beat up every day, right? So, we've only averaged 0.66% levy increases year over year in the last 6 years. So that's a total increase of 3.96% over the last 6 years. Most of the taxing districts we serve that I have to collect money for are 499 every year. So you can just do the math on that. So other than that, we're in good financial position moving forward. We can jump back to the back there.
Jeremy, could I ask you on that? 1 year ago, balance was $1.5 million, now we're at $500,000. Do you guys have grants or?
Yeah, it's just how money comes in and goes out.
And what's the those per who we
What's that?
If we would compare, we had.
If we had grant, well, I mean, like 200, we have $224,000 waiting for grant. So, all the paperwork's been turned in, we've already spent the money, we've got funding the money, and we're just waiting to have it back. So really, we'd be setting up over $500,000 right now. You know, so that's just the difference, you know. But some months, last year, we were doing a lot of work around the courthouse, and that side of it, so it's just always cash in, cash out. You just gotta have money on hand, because we'll be able to do it, so that's constantly moving money around and going in and out.
You see, you said that $500,000 would be $750,000 million?
Could be, I mean, it just would depend upon how we get.
I mean, what's the difference starting February? Last year, you started out about $600,000 more than we did this year. So
Yeah.
there's a big difference.
Yeah, well, that's just
Right
not
there in
Yeah.
between 2025 and 2026.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of that money was grant money we were using for projects.
Yeah.
We're still in the middle of those, of one of those, so that's why it's still kind of fluid.
Right, exactly. And we'll have another grant heading on new basis. So we're ready to start that process over again. So, I was gonna focus on just to point out some things on, you go to the last page and you see the revenue portion that we really track in the treasurer's office. Because what allows us to do that is basically the sales tax. So you, I mean, Whipper got up here and talked about the cash bond, and that is really hurt the county financially, you know, about $300,000 a year. So, luckily, you know, unfortunately, our sales taxes remain strong. So we're actually up, we just look at the numbers that we track, and kind of all the reimbursements that the state does every month for every position we have, that we get reimbursement dollars on. But if you just look at our monies that we have coming in, we track every month, we're 12% up. So for the first quarter, so that also helps us get a better, strong position that we're in. So that is basically it. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any. And I would just appreciate, it's been, you know, we passed away, but he had worked very hard on the budget for the last few years. Brian also worked very hard. Everyone that I worked with, Chuck, has been, you know, pleasure to finance for me. Everyone worked extremely hard to put a budget together for the county. So it's a lot of work, so I appreciate that process.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes.
Appreciate it. We did have a Joe Myers resolution, so I would make a motion to approve the Joe Myers resolution.
Motion by Ronnie to approve Joe Myers, second by Casey Purple. Roll call vote, please.
Roy Oldham,
Yes.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Travelstad,
Yes.
Chuck DePriest,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Danny Gibbs,
Yes.
Kurt Husted,
Yes.
Gene Ellis. Oh, sorry. Todd Horton
Yes.
and Joe Williams.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, Ryan. Anything else?
That's all. No,
That's
thank you.
it, thank you. Let's go down to the building committee, Mr. Todd Horton.
So we have a contract with the company Honeywell to maintain our heating and cooling system in the courthouse. It's a 3-year contract. It's up obviously every 3 years. It's paid for entirely from the sheriff's budget, so it's really his to do. And he and I have been working together the past few months on getting a new one in place. And we have done all of our part of it, and it is ready. We both agree that it's what it needs to be. It's like everything else that's happened, it's a little bit higher this year. It's $24,274 and some change. But as a county board, I don't think we have any need of action. Whipper's gonna take care of it. Does that suit you, Whipper?
Right. Yeah, and the increase will have to absorb someplace else, but as you and I and Chuck discussed, if we don't have a service contract, one compressor on the roof up there is $20,000. So the 24/7 and change or whatever, it's insurance. You know, with the routine maintenance they perform and the spot checks and whatnot. I just think it's necessary to, you know, announce the prevention versus county cure. So we're gonna have to pay the difference and hope that we don't have any major breakdowns up there to HVAC.
And it's nothing new. We've done it for years and years and years. It's just that this is the year it happens to be coming new. I want to let you know that the new roof has been installed in the courthouse. with the exception of the carpenters who gotta come back and do a little trim work around the outside, but, I'm hoping that we can stay dry inside everywhere. Time will tell when rains occur. That's all I have.
Any questions from the board? Todd, thank you, Todd. Let's move on down. Well, Todd, go back to you.
The claims committee's met a couple times this month, and we've signed the claims for you. We'll make a motion that they be paid.
A motion by Todd Horn to pay the bills. For a second. Second by Gene Ellis. Roll call vote.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Travelstead,
Yes.
Chuck DePriest,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Abstain.
Danny Gibbs,
Yes.
Kurt Hustedy,
Yes.
Gene Ellis,
Yes.
Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Oldham,
Yes.
Jay Williams.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you.
Can I ask,
Yes.
is there not a motion on the Honeywell contract?
No, that's completely on
Because it's
Whipper's
in your-
department. He's gonna
okay.
take care of it.
Okay,
Everything okay?
yeah, I just want to make sure.
Let's turn the page and go down to the ordinance committee. And I'm gonna go back to you again, Ryan,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
talk about solar.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna follow exactly in order here, under ordinance. I'm gonna ask, Triple S two, Kevin Corbett's here. We've got two solar farms out in that area. One of them's Triple S one of them's Triple S two. They are actually rewild in the group that they are with. I'm just gonna have him come up and just give a quick explanation of his farm, the size of it, what their megawatt production is. And then, when he's through, we'll talk about a conditional letter of approval.
Good evening, my name is Kevin Corbett, I'm with Rewild Renewables representing Triple S Solar, Road LLC. I don't have a copy of the plans here, but this project is located off of Triple S Road across from, it's Hankavilla Lane. The property is, right around 40 acres, and the proposed, fenced area consult farm is about 28 acres. Access comes off of Triple S Road along with utilities. We've submitted our application to the county on September 23rd of last year. We held a public hearing on November 19th of 2025. And we've gone through a few rounds of comments with the third-party engineer, and the last set of comments was received on January 8th, which we replied and sort of finalized all the comments there. So, yeah, that's a quick overview.
Anybody have any questions?
It is farmland, yes. And yeah, sorry, it's a 5 megawatt AC system, so.
Anything else?
So that was Triple S one,
Two.
so Triple S one now.
We're not affiliated with them.
Triple S one would be
Not sure.
south. Yeah, almost straight across from Triple S Stables on the opposite side of the roads would be, just a little bit further south, off to the left side of the road if you were headed south. Right? Is it east west? West. Okay. So would that be on the south side of the road?
It's on the south side.
Triple S one would be on the south side of the road, Triple S two, would be,
North side.
yeah, on the north side, so. A little confused on directions. So I talked to Jim Brown today, he's our third-party engineer. They have submitted, all their, permit items. Jim has, third-party review is completed, they're completed with their third-party review. So just like we went through, a lot of these different solar companies, now they're going to make sure that they have board approval, that they're going to secure their financing. Once their financing's in shape, they'll go ahead and get us our liability insurance, our road use agreement, and our bonding. There was some question with our bonding due to some of their language.
We had sent it off to Walden, the state's attorney's office. We've cleared that language up in that bonding, so we feel good about that now. So I would just ask, I would make a motion that we send, trying to think how to word it here exactly. Triple S Solar, LLC Solar Farm, conditional letter of approval.
That's your motion?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll need a second.
Second.
Lisa Perkins. Roll call vote.
Justin Trowstead,
No.
Chuck DePriest,
No.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Danny Gibbs,
No.
Kurt Hustedy,
No.
Gene Ellis, Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Oldham,
No.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
and Jay Williams.
Yes.
Five yeses, 5 noes.
Well, in order,
I'd like to add my no vote. I'm in the middle of both solar farms. I'm 1095 Houston Road, so I'm gonna pass both every day.
where we at?
No one has come to offers.
So 5 noes, 5 yeses.
5 yes, 5
5
no.
and 5, the motion fails. Right?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. And it would be, I would probably ask our legal counsel that's here. I'm not sure if he's read the state solar ordinance about counties having the ability to be able to refuse solar farms or wind farms from being able to come into production in counties that have a solar farm ordinance.
I think what he's saying is the first time we've ever voted this down. It's always been so.
Can't answer your question as I said. I can't answer, James' question as I said.
Well, I would ask that we have some sort of legal opinion on that. Well, I mean, I know Walden can't tonight, if he could research that for us, because I know Carmine did probably 2 months ago, but I'm not sure by the state ordinance that a county board cannot allow a solar company to come in, or not allow a solar company to come in as long as it meets and qualifies for your solar farm ordinance.
You might
That's my understanding.
as do that for us. There you go.
If that's the position, then why are we even voting?
Exactly. I think we vote to give the company our support, to let them know that we are for them, that we're behind them. It's as simple as that.
And we voted no.
So it's 50-50. It, like Ryan just said, we can't keep you from doing it. It's just a process that we go through.
Okay, so what's the process from here?
Go ahead.
Well, we'll get a some legal opinion on that.
Okay.
The next one, you see more board members here, so also for free, so.
Okay, so I'll just follow up.
Yes.
Go from there.
Yep.
I just feel, as a neighbor to the community, each of these solar farms should have contacted each property owner within a 1 mile radius, and no one ever knocked on my door. No one.
Well, it goes back to the 3 people from Galatia that was here the last meeting, that they said that they felt like it was encroaching on them. And they are citizens here. They vote, they pay taxes. And so I'll never vote for solar, because it doesn't do anything for us.
Anybody else?
I
Yes, John.
I would love to see somebody with a solar company do something on some, mine reclamation land around here, or parking lots. That'd be wonderful.
Something.
Understand?
Can I just say just a few things here to all that? And listen, I don't have a single solar panel at my house, but, just a couple of different things. I've heard different comments the problem in our community is our tax base. Our tax base is solely based on residential homes. We don't have a whole lot of business here. We don't have a whole lot of factories here to be able to increase tax money. This solar company from going from farmland to solar is going to increase the tax product on that land by about 19 times more. That's going to come into the county. It's not only going to affect the county, it's going to affect our school districts in a positive manner from having the extra tax revenue. It's not only going to affect the county and the school districts, is hopefully it'll affect residents with lower taxes because they're not carrying the burden all the time for those schools and for the counties. So that's my first thing to say on it. Second thing to say on it is I'm not going to tell Danny Gibbs what to do with his property. Danny Gibbs owns his property. If he wants to put 500 trash trucks out there, he can put them out there. As his neighbor, I may not want to drive by and look at it every day, but that's Danny's right. As long as he's obeying the law, that's his right as a landowner to be able to do that. If Danny wants to put a hog farm on his property, he can put a hog farm on it, as long as he complies with all the laws. Now, I may not like a hog farm beside me, but that's Danny's right as a landowner. So it's hard for me to come in here and tell somebody as a landowner what they can and can't do with their property to try to make a dollar. I just think that's un-American. I really do. And so, am I compassionate about solar? I don't have a solar calculator at my house. Okay, I just think that it's a good investment for our community. It's a good investment for our schools. It's a good investment for our residents who are paying taxes here. I had one other point I was going to make. It's hard thinking off the top of your head and talking.
The third one's the hardest.
Yeah, it just came to me for a second.
Been there.
Ryan, let me add to that. That land you sold 2 years ago at auction for $7,000 an acre. So, that gives you, if it's 20 times the estimate of the value, the assessed value, at 7,000 an acre out there, going from farm to commercial.
You do not pay that in farm ground. It's not factored in. So
Yeah.
your assessment on farm ground is not $7,000, $12,000.
Yeah, there's a multiplier on farm property. It's decreased.
Well, what I'm saying though, is the income from county can go up.
Yes.
Yes.
29 times, I think that is actually more accurate number, farm ground compared to solar panel. And I'm an ag guy. So, but it's the way it is.
Yes. And I disagree with Mr. Lambert, and we get along just great. But to me, the solar, it may make property values go up for this guy, but it doesn't do anything for the rest of us. It doesn't do anything for giving us a kilowatt an hour break for electricity here at the courthouse or at the sheriff's department. So, at the end of the day, it's a benefit to a property owner, but at the end of the day, it don't benefit the county. So, vote it all you want. I'll never vote for it because there's not a benefit to the county. There's not a benefit to the taxpayers. Now, there's a benefit to you though. If you own private property and they want to come on your property, you will make the money and it will increase your property values. But it doesn't do anything for mine. So there's where I'm at with it.
And they're also a resident of the county.
Excuse
And they
me?
own property in the county. How do you tell somebody?
I can't hear you.
They own property in the county. You're telling people, I know what I'm saying.
That's fine, but they're beneficiaries. Do I benefit from that?
Goodbye.
As the taxpayers.
Go back.
And here's another thing
That's just me.
here's another thing that I would say too. That two of these solar farms are small, what they call community solar farms. And with the community solar farms, anybody can buy utilities from those solar farms, from those community solar farms. They only have so many utilities that they can sell till that solar farm is full. But you can go in there and buy at a 10 or 15% reduced rate of electricity off of these community solar farms.
Who can?
Anybody can.
Till it full. That's not true though.
Any,
One at a time.
That's not true, because I tried.
Hey,
Okay.
go ahead. Anybody can. That's where you're.
Anybody can, but I can't. I've tried.
What community solar farm did you try buying?
The comment that he's making,
Well, you said you tried buying a
We're-
community solar
we're
farm.
right
Which one
in
you
the-
tried buying from?
we're right in the middle. My neighbor has Ameren and I have Illinois Fire, right in the middle.
Right.
And as long as you were Ameren, you could get a reduction.
That's right.
But with me being Illinois Fire, I can't get a reduction. Is it going to reduce my taxes? Well, what, this is where I'm at. We did this because when the ordinance first started, we implemented that all the solar farm tax would go to the schools in that district, okay? So far, we haven't seen that in Unit 3 because we've had an 8%, an 8%, and an 18% increase for the next 3 years. I don't know what it's gonna cost to repair the township roads from 3 different directions, okay? So that cost is gonna be offset by the solar farm because that's what's happening out on Shiloh Road.
Well, that's why they have road use agreements, but they have to pay for, they pay for maintenance. Our highway department's doing the maintenance on those roads right now. Those out there on El Dorado 1 and El Dorado 2, they're actually paying our highway department to go out there and do maintenance on those roads. And once that project is done, they're under a contract by law to replace those roads back in the condition they were before construction started. I think the other thing that I was going to say is coal was great for us. Coal is gone. The tax receipts that we had from that are gone. We didn't receive a dime of tax dollars from a single coal mine here over what coal that they sold that they mined at. The only tax increase that we received was off the property itself. And you see what coal mines left us. Okay, they left us with gob piles. They left us with orange creeks that we're dealing with now. When these solar farms leave, they're bonded. They're bonded, we hold the bond. The county holds the bond to be able to clean those solar farms back up. Unlike driving Galatia, I don't know if that thing will ever get cleaned up. My opinion is the county one day is going to end up owning that out there because they're not going to pay the taxes on it, let it go. And then we're going to be in a fight with EPAs, who's going to clean it up. But, I mean, we got 13 board members, 12 board members on here now. Everybody has a vote. That's the great thing about being on the county board. Danny's votes, Kurt's votes, just as important as Jay's vote or my vote. It doesn't make a difference, and we all have our own opinions. I think that we are kind of treading in some dirty water. I'm not an attorney. We've got an attorney. Walden's our attorney for our county. And so he's going to have to give us a legal opinion on what we do moving forward.
So with that being said, do you have any more?
No.
so I have a question,
Sure.
and I'll direct this question to our state's attorney.
Put it in writing,
Put it in writing? Okay,
that way also.
okay, not a problem.
Do you need to keep him on the spot?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Brian? You done?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, while they're here, I'm gonna have to let them go ahead and make a report. But, we have Cleanfoot Solar. They have property out off of Shiloh Road, which is almost adjacent to El Dorado 1. I think out there, it's, Mr. Payne's property. They submitted their third-party review last week. They had their public hearing last night. And so barring them getting through their third-party engineering, they're here tonight to talk about the project and was requesting a conditional letter of approval, but that may be a moot point tonight.
So at this time.
Yeah, Matt, or Matt, you wanna come up and talk?
Thank you.
You're the conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Sending around packets some introductory information. Good evening, thank you, Board, thank you, Chairman. I'm Adam Ball, Vice President of Real Estate Strategy for Clean Footprint. I'm Illinois based. We're a Florida headquartered company. We develop ground mounted community solar programs, and I would like to take a minute to differentiate kind of solar that we do versus the large projects like El Dorado that we'll talk a little bit here tonight. Clean Footprint is currently developing 7 different projects in Illinois. We have one here in Saline County. We advanced as much as we can go without getting the cooperation support of the board, so that we can get a conditional use permit under your solar siting ordinance. It is true, and we would like to coordinate with you as much as possible about that ordinance relative to the state siting agreement and how the state siting agreement, how it sets rules surrounding unincorporated county land. It isn't subject to a township, city, or town ordinance. It is our impression that we would like to go and proceed with a 3.5 megawatt ground mount solar that would sit just west of the south end of the El Dorado 1 project. And on Mr. Payne's land, it would be approximately 24 acres of a larger 72-acre parcel, set way east from the roadway there. It would be with ground mount solar panels to serve the community. And I did want to emphasize that different than a utility scale that takes energy and pumps it out across a multi-state region, community solar is designed to provide energy at what they call the distribution level. So that would be, in the case of that site, Ameren. And so any Ameren customer can go online and subscribe to a portion of available community solar projects. So the more projects that are available, the more customers can sign into those projects, where those that sign in generally receive 10 to 15% discount to their energy year over year versus the rate you just pay for, generic Ameren account, a customer residential account. We have surveyed and we've been provided notice to all the neighboring properties, and prior to our public hearing, we had our public hearing last night, and we did have attendance by some residents, some interested contractors who were very excited about the opportunity to get some additional construction work here, both in site preparations and in the construction and above ground improvements, and also residents. And we answered a number of questions, and we'd be happy to answer questions for you today here. I'm going to hand it over to Matt, who.
My name is Matt Walbert. I work for Westwood Professional Services. I'm the environmental consultant that's been helping Clean Footprint with the permitting of this project. The second slide there is just a little bit of information about my company. We've been working in renewable energy projects since the early 2000s. I've been working here in Illinois since around 2018 with community solar projects. So as Adam said, this is this project is located just north of El Dorado, and it's on a piece of property that already has an existing utility scale. So we're looking at 24 acres of that same project up against the existing panels, but this will be a completely standalone separate project. So we have a delivery route that will come off of US Highway 45 and go west on Borland Road for 0.66 miles, and then north on County Road 3 for 0.28 miles. And as a portion of this, we will be entering into a road use agreement with the county and the township to make sure any damage done from material deliveries for our project will be repaired. So the road will be, as Ryan said, the road will be put back into the condition it's in. So as a portion of this project, we've already completed a drain tile study, we've completed wetland delineation, and some other background studies. So we do have drain tile on the site. We've also fully executed the agricultural impact mitigation agreement with the Illinois Department of Agriculture. And within that agreement is specifications on that. We will be repairing any drain tile that we damaged, during construction. We have a map, we know where it is, so we will be repairing anything that is accidentally damaged. It's really important for that because we want to be good neighbors. We want to keep the agricultural production land and neighbors, the water flowing like it is now, so we don't have any issues with neighbors. As Adam said, this project is 3.5 megawatts on 24 acres. The access road will be coming off of County Road 3. And then these are, single axis trackers, so these panels will be tilting as the sun goes during the day, they'll be tracking the sun. So as a portion of this, we've already completed quite a few approvals. We have the IPAC review done for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We have no federal species of concern. We have our Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, no hazard determination. So there's no hazard from glare from the panels for aircraft. We have our DNR EcoCap review done. There's no state listed species or natural areas of concern that we need to worry about. We have our SHPO cultural resource protection coordination underway. And again, as I mentioned, we have our agricultural impact mitigation agreement fully signed with the Department of Agriculture. We also have the interconnection agreement completely signed with the utility, and we have the lease agreement signed with the landlord. And I would love to answer any questions anybody has on the project.
No questions? You've got, on the front map, you've got 6 locations.
Yes, sir.
Are the other 5 completed?
We have 4 under construction and 3 seeking permits right now. Including,
You 6 are in Illinois. Have you got any in Kentucky or Indiana?
no, historically our work has been focused in Virginia, and we also work in New York and Ohio. Those are our principal markets. We do some business also in Texas. But, the community solar programs are relatively new in the country. We focused in one of the earlier states, Virginia, originally, and with AEP, power companies. And when Illinois opened up its program and we, had the capacity, we expanded our work into Illinois here. I'm a long-time real estate professional, dozens of years, I've developed all kinds of projects, and I got involved in energy about 3.5 years ago. And so, we feel here, this is, Jeff Payne, the owner of the land here, would like to take this opportunity to do a little less farming on that parcel. We thought that this brought a great opportunity for making and pushing energy right back into this community for Ameren customers. And then also, it's a great opportunity for continued construction, providing those jobs from earth movement to electrical work to steel work, and then ongoing operations to maintain the facility. This is, it's 24 acres, very small. It's almost 100 the size of the El Dorado projects overall. But it's one that's really geared and designed to make energy and keep energy here in the community. And Clean Footprint as operators, we're a community solar business. We're focused on them. We want to be here to talk to you, to answer questions. We want to stay involved. We want to support, host, sponsor, have civic partnerships. And we also want to help contribute to the tax basis. We talked about that in the last thing. Roughly 20 to 30% higher assessment. As farmland right now, that 24-acre portion of Jeff's 72 acres, before it's actually 77 acres, it generates about $625 a year in tax revenue to the county for that portion, that 24-acre use. It's a complicated formula on how taxes are assessed a little bit for solar farms, but that price will range over the next multiple years for between, we more than 12 to about almost $20,000 a year, depending on the year on how that works. So it's a 20 times increase in assessed value, taxable value, and therefore revenue. And that goes straight to the library, straight to the schools, straight to every tax basis, there is here, the parks, the college, El Dorado Township, the road districts, the Saline River Conservation and municipal townships. So I think there is a good benefit. You're talking about increased expenses here today with HVAC, and these kind of revenues can help support that. This is accretive. I mean, I don't think there's going to be another factory building put on there or residential homes put on this land. This is well set back from the road. It wouldn't be the first kind of parcel you want to put a development of a pole barn or a house or even a business on. It's set way into the field. And, so this is revenue that without this kind of development probably won't be generated. And so it's an opportunity for us to develop and give energy to the community. It's an opportunity for you guys to get some more tax revenue and also help stabilize the electric grid in this zone. So what it does is it's a constant form of energy that we're able to use to mitigate sort of the ups and downs of daily use of energy within the greater Ameren system by generating it somewhere right here in the marketplace. And that helps bring rates down generally overall. So the peaks, the Ameren doesn't have to go out and buy it from somewhere else where it's being generated and piped in on the transmission lines. So if you have any other questions.
Did I hear you correctly, this is part of Payne Farms?
Yes, it is, sir.
So this is,
It's immediately west of the south tail of the El Dorado project, El Dorado 1. And it's roughly 1 mile of paved road from the highway there, the highway exit, and just 3/4 of a mile west, a 1/4 mile up north to the access road to the site. I think that with that, very stable road, we're not going to have some of the issues that El Dorado does with all of the gravel roadway around that site, the construction activity. It's also going to be a much faster project. This project will be built in a matter of months, not years. We will be in shape to commence construction in 2026 and complete operational for in 2027. And that energy then becomes available at that time for Ameren customers.
And we did have a public hearing last night. All the official notices went out, all the neighbors, I think there was 24 neighbors that were notified via certified mail. It was also published in your newspaper of record. We had that public hearing last night, and we had one neighbor that came with questions. There was really nobody there speaking in any opposition to the project. Our email address was provided in the letter for Clean Footprint, and nobody's reached out to Michelle, who sent the letters out. So we've really heard no neighbor in opposition to this.
We actually had 3 neighbors.
Oh, 3,
We had some that did start a little late. And frankly, in my opinion, and I think anyone else who was there would agree, they all left comfortable and without worry about this project. It's very consistent with the use that's immediately surrounding it right now.
Anything else from the board? Brian?
Parliamentary procedure, Chairman. If we bring a motion up that gets voted down this month, can you bring the same motion next month?
You think that's what's going to happen?
I have no idea. I would reserve my motion till next month if I can't do that. It's a parliamentary question. That's my question.
Parliamentary. I can't hear.
I was telling him, I believe you can, I'll have to check that, but I believe you can.
My thinking is you can bring it back next month or next meeting.
Do you have an opinion on that, Walter? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I didn't expect any of this tonight.
What are you asking?
My parliamentary question is, can I bring a motion this month that fails? If a motion that's brought up this month that fails, if I bring up a motion to get a conditional letter of approval for Clean Footprint, and it fails, can I bring that same motion next month?
In my opinion, you can, but I'm not involved parliamentary.
Did you say you can't?
I think you can.
Oh, you think you
Back
can?
up, because you don't even have your board members present. So I don't know why you can't bring it back up. Doesn't mean it's fatal forever.
Okay, that was my,
Chairman could better answer that.
that was my only question.
But here's what I'm learning tonight. All this may be an esoteric exercise anyway.
I think it is.
And so, but I will answer your question before next board meeting.
I appreciate that.
Okay, with that being said,
I'll make a motion that, we give, clean footprint for El Dorado, for Solar Silo El Dorado LLC, a conditional letter of approval.
motion by Ryan, second by Casey Perkins, roll call vote.
You can ask, it is all farmland, right?
Oh, yes, sir, yes.
It's all, farm is corn.
Here we go.
Chairman. Can I make one comment about the Payne brothers? They were John Deere engineers, and been farmers their entire life. And this is their property that they're making solar farms on, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we're at least, they're not involved in the operation or the development of the solar farm, but they are and will be, continue to be the farm land owner. And this will remain farmland. It is, from a recording and use basis, it will remain agricultural. From a tax basis, once the solar is finished, it's measured in its area, and then there's very specific state formulas that apply that create a new tax value only for that solar portion. And then when the solar portion is done, when, you know, if it stops being a solar farm in some way, it reverts right back to agricultural. There's no rezoning or anything that happens. And during the course of the solar operation, it has its own tax base. So it's very easy to track the additional tax basis that is specifically generated from that solar farm.
We have a motion, and a
I have a
second.
question.
Go ahead, Ron.
Is there a study, and if so, how long, has been studied that once you're done, that land still goes?
Sure. Well, and actually, the entire time that it's in production, there's actually vegetation underneath. So as a portion of this, and I assume we maybe should have gone into more detail on like operations and decommissioning. So during the life of the project, there's going to be a native non-invasive seed mix on the site. It's going to be a low-growing forbs and grass mix. So we're going to establish like a low-growing native prairie under it. We're also going to make sure that that mix has some nitrogen fixing species, legumes or things like that are going to put some of that nitrogen back in the soil. So during the life of the project, it's going to be fully vegetated. And then, as Ryan alluded to earlier, there's decommissioning plans. We have a decommissioning plan that's going to take the project apart, put it back to farmland. And as a portion of that, there's a bond that's held by the county. So there's essentially no way for us to disappear and for this not to get referred, back. If you go out there and build a Walmart, we've all driven through areas where you see, like urban blight, you see these abandoned buildings, and that's because there's no decommissioning process. So if a farmer was to go out there and put a giant chicken barn or a giant hog barn in and walk away from it, that would just sit there. There's no mechanism for that unless he came and paid for it, for that to be restored. And it sounds like you're having those issues on this whole property. With wind and solar, there is a required decommissioning plan. So an engineer has looked at this, says, this is how we restore the land. And as a portion of that decommissioning plan, there is money set aside for it. And there's also conditions in the bonds. So, because we have inflation, we're looking 30 years in the future. So we can say this is what it would cost today to decommission that site. But obviously in 30 years, that number is not going to be anywhere where it's, what physically it would cost. So there is a provision in the decommissioning plan that I think it's every 5 years or 10 years, depending on how your ordinance reads, that decommissioning plan is reexamined, that cost estimate is updated, and then the bond needs to be adjusted. So say we get to year 7 or year 10 when the next review is, and things have gone through the roof, inflation, we're at triple the prices, that decommissioning bond is going to move up to whatever that number needs to be to get the site back. And that's something that's truly unique in development, because you don't see that in residential, you don't see that in commercial. I was heavily in residential in 2006, and we had our first housing crash, and I grew up in central Minnesota, and there is a ton of neighborhoods up there where they put roads in, they level the farm fields, they put roads in, and they're still sitting there today with nothing going on, because we had a crash, the land values fell, the building market collapsed, and no one did anything with the property. With a solar facility, that really can't happen with the decommissioning process and the decommissioning bond.
And I'd like to emphasize that I think there was something that wasn't quite clear in the last, the previous party here was up here hearing. The responsibility for decommissioning remains the owner of the facility. That responsibility is with us now, it runs with the project. So any time the facility were ever to be sold, the next person has to do it. Not only is it their responsibility, but this bond with the county stays in place at the county, in the county coffers, basically. That chip that they can turn in to get cash, if for some reason we would act on our responsibility, which of course is not our intention, but I just want everyone to understand, it's not the county's responsibility to fix it up, but we do give you an emergency plan if for some reason something happens and we don't fix it up. The other thing on the fauna and foliage and so forth that we're talking about, this is not optional for us. To participate in community solar programs, we have to have an agreement with the state of Illinois, the Illinois Powers Association, under what's called the Illinois Shines Community Solar Program. We have to commit to having functional pollinator vegetation and production for, to support bees and so forth, right, pollination. And then also the same if we are doing agricultural tail. So if we're doing any kind of sheep grazing or something like that, it's a requirement.
It's a requirement, but if your company goes bankrupt tomorrow, it's not, right?
No, sir, if we didn't operate the facility for more than 6 months, it's considered closed.
Who would take care of it?
Well, that's
If you went bankrupt.
Then we have a bond in place that sits in the county's control, and the county would then have the funds to engage an outside party to do what we didn't do. But that's not gonna happen, I mean.
Well, we said that's not gonna happen, we don't know.
We're protecting against that.
Okay.
Sometimes people wonder about the solar panels on your, people ask these questions, what percentage of solar panels are domestically produced?
Well, that's changing rapidly. Historically, Asian manufacturers that have technology that we don't have existing in the United States have been the ones to produce the majority of solar panels. But they're also produced in Europe, and they are produced right here in the United States of America. There are multiple factories that were and are being developed to generate solar. Some of that momentum has come down with the One Big Beautiful Bill because some of the benefits they got to develop those factories have been eliminated. But I can't, it's such a dynamic thing, I can't give you a percentage. It's small, it's less than 25% of the products. Now, we get credit. It's our goal to have at least 40% of the products in the entire facility be domestic products. And we get an advantage to doing that. So that is our goal, that is our intention. And specifically, where we don't get certain tax advantages if we use product from what are called foreign entity concerns or fiats. So we avoid those products. So, and that's China. Right, so the inverters that we're going to use are made in Illinois, right, in Waukegan, Illinois.
We have a motion and a second on the table.
I apologize, thank you for the time.
Call the question, please.
Okay, Ryan and Casey, right? Okay, Chuck DePriest,
No.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Danny Gibbs, did
Yes.
you say yes? Kurt Hesteady? Oh,
I can give that a little bit.
Gene Ellis,
Yes.
Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Oldham,
No.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Travelstead? You say no?
No.
And Jay Williams?
Yes.
6 yes, 1, 2, 3. Kurt, how do you vote on the,
No.
Aye.
6 and 4, 6 yes.
6-4.
It passed.
It passed.
Thank you very much.
It passed, thank you very much. Ryan, you got anything else?
The only other thing that we had was US Solar, which we addressed last month, and it was just a letter of conditions. Their question was just on our ordinance. In our ordinance, we had a section of our ordinance where once you permitted, you had 4 years to complete your construction. And so we passed that last month, and we just got to put on the agenda again this month. And letters put back in the folders. Same letters that was in there last month. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Appreciate it, thank you very much. Okay, we got solar on the way. Appointments in front of you, and I'm, instead of mix and match, I'm just gonna read them, but we're gonna have a roll call vote on them. Rather than A's and A's, that way we know where we're at. So first of all, number one appointment, you have Dennis and Rice Mass Transit replacing Tim Daltrey, who resigned, expiring. Jeff's appointment would expire November 2027. Good that? So I need a motion. Todd Horns made the motion, Janelle second motion, roll call vote please. This is on June Dennis.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Danny Gibbs,
Yes.
Kurt Hustedy,
No.
Gene Ellis,
Yes.
Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Oldham,
Yes.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Travelstead,
Yes.
Chuck DePreez,
Yes.
Jay Williams.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next appointment, Jeremy Maloney, 911, filling Mike McKinnis' term expires, which will expire November 2026. Motion by Tom Horton, second by Roy Oldham, roll call vote please. Question?
Yes. I've always heard that this is a board position. I don't know, is that true?
Of course, before I do anything, I do the research. And the research started with the director at 911, from there to Springfield to the attorneys. And it has to be, it can be a county board member, or it can be an elected county official.
So what about the first responder theory of it? Because I know Mike
That's
was
a
a first
theory,
responder.
and I asked that question because I knew that that's basically a theory, because we knew, or we know, as long as Mike McKinnis was here, he was our guy, he was our 911 guy. Well, he's also the police chief in El Dorado for years and years. And we just assumed that you had to have that, but according to the statute, no, you do not. Ask him.
It's not even theory, it's been past practice.
Past practice.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm gonna call it.
It's been
It's
past
past
practice.
practice.
But
Just
you do,
because of Mike being on there a long time, or was it others before
no, Mike has been on this board forever, 20 plus
Mike?
years.
So it's just
Mike
been
always
since
been-
Mike's been on here.
Mike
Well, Mike is the only
He
board
was
member
here.
that's been on it.
Mike's the one that, you know,
Past
passed
practice.
walked in at 911.
I think Kerry Jones was at one time, I don't remember, maybe. I know he started in 911.
Probably in the 90s, you're right.
This
The
really-
change all last year were, in addition to elected officials, the sheriff and other elected officials, so it's not unheard of, maybe unheard of here, but.
So there you go.
And I'm just curious, in making this decision, I have had people, firefighters contact me asking that we support a particular person who is a firefighter who is on board. And I'm just wondering, have others been contacted, or was I the only one just contacted by a person? Have others?
Nobody got it.
We have, the fire chief at Caryville, Jim Asher, sits on there. So we have representation from law enforcement, retired law enforcement, the fire services. So we've got 2 retired troopers, the Caryville fire chief, the chief deputy, with Mike, so there's 7 of us, or 7 to represent us, I'm sorry. Trying to think who the other ones are. We'll just go through them. Reader, Nathan Moore, Glenn Hooper, Jeff Absher, it was Mike McKinnis, Lloyd Glasscock. I'm missing one. Who am I missing, Jay?
Is Isaac still on it?
Who is it?
Is Isaac still on it?
No.
Is this spot right here that we're talking about?
But is it 66 or 77? I thought it was 77.
We're one up.
Right. I told them we're at now, I can just stick, and Mike put them in the last one. It's
I think you're right.
Somebody I'm missing.
So this is 7. You would be.
Can I make a comment on this? This was my name. So,
Yes, I'd love to hear this.
So, could you come up here, Jeremy, so we can hear you?
sure. I offered to do this only basically because I want, since I've been here, when we took 9101 and we did the joint back in, I believe it was 2014, we received $120,000 a year from Gotham County. Well, it's not Gotham County from 911. I just missed.
You're gonna jump right.
So, yeah, right to fire. So, we received nothing from Gotham County. So, we received $120,000 a year from 911. So, I just want, and we have not been able to get an agreement done with them. So, we're still receiving 120 grand a year. So, I just, from an executive standpoint, the fiduciary person of the county, I offered with Jay to, sit on the board so I could see where our money's going, where the money should be going, and then where we're spending the money. Because honestly, it's an administrative function anyway when you sit on it. So.
Yeah, and you may lose an election in 30 days, so, you
I-
could be on there.
But definitely you will.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and I could too. I'm gonna say that Casey Perkins always has expressed a desire to be on there as a fireman, and I support that. So
Oh, that's
it's
fine.
not personal against you, but I'm a no-vote.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
So let me add something to this. And we may have to check back with the past chairman of negotiations, Mr. Westerrod. Mr. Lambert may be able to clarify a little bit on this. We have sent a letter to the state of Illinois to remove us from this 911 joint intergovernmental agreement. Okay? Is that not, we received that letter back from the state. The state clearly said we had the right to pull out. Okay, if there was not gonna be negotiations. Negotiations had met with Galvin County. We could not get in negotiations. As of today, please correct me if I'm wrong, we do not have an intergovernmental agreement with Galvin County Board. Correct or incorrect?
But we are going to be working on it. The problem was.
We're working on it.
The past, there was a personality conflict with Wes and the entire Galvin County side. And that's why it never got done.
Well, that, we have the poor attendance too, so now we got
Poor
a
attendance.
better relationship with Galvin County, there's no risk right now.
Okay,
That situation is going to be green.
before we go any farther, let me tell you what I found out. Saline County cannot serve or participate in 911 by itself. We are not big enough population-wise. We have to have somebody else. That's why, because the state of Illinois requires it. That's why we tag on to, that's why Gallatin County and Saline County together make up 911. Now, if we break that contract, we are no longer, correct me if I'm wrong, 911. We would have to go partner with somebody like Williamson County. Gallatin County is gonna have to go to Hamilton County or White County or some other
There are
county.
exemptions,
Pardon?
it's not mandatory, there are exemptions, but it would be difficult to get.
It would be very difficult. So that's why
But when did it change? Because I was on the 911 board for 9 years when it was just Saline County. So did the law change to say we have to partner with another county?
I think
Did the
it's
law
a-
change somewhere?
I think the statute is 37,000 or less.
I mean, I've not been on that board for
I believe
4 or
that's
5 years, so.
I'm just telling you what I know.
But did it
What I was
change?
told,
It had to
yes.
change
Well, it had to
somewhere. It
change.
wasn't like that when I was
Is it
on.
that, or did we get smaller? Because everybody's leaving here.
What are you saying?
If it has to be 37,000 people in Saline County, is what he said.
But it wasn't that way 10 years ago. That's what I'm saying. Did
I know,
it change?
no, I'm not saying, I'm
30,000.
saying that maybe we have
I
less people here now. So now we can't be by ourselves because we don't meet that requirement of 37,000 people, is what Jeremy is saying. Like you're mandatory, you can't stand alone unless you have 37,000 people.
Okay,
So we've lessened our people.
We got a
Yes.
motion.
Mr. Chairman, I just a little bit of history.
Yeah.
This goes way back before Western Rock. We're multiple years in the year, in the.
17.
Yeah,
2017.
we're from 2017, so we're, do the math, 8 years in the rear of a contract, with 911. So, now, Todd sat on that negotiating committee. I asked Todd if I could go down and talk to Gallatin County myself when I was chairman. I went down, we had a contract we thought was gonna get approved, and Gallatin County just refuses to do anything. It just seems like our hands are tied, with Gallatin County unless we can have somebody with the state police, come down and mandate something for them to get into an agreement with us. Here's the biggest problem is, and some people know, some people don't. We put about 80% of the 911. 911 is collected through your phone bills, plus just your residential phone, then with your cell phones after a few years later. We pay about 80% of the money into 911. Gallatin County pays about 20%. It's just a population thing. They're taxed at the same rate as we are on their cell phones. It's just a population thing. They have equal representation as us on the 911 board, Gallatin County does, even though they're only contributing about 20% of the money. Felty, who's the 911 director, at one point in time sued every county board member personally on the county board. He's not a friend of Saline County's. He goes to every Gallatin County board member or board meeting. I've never seen him come to a single Saline County board meeting and even give a report. So Gallatin County's in a position that they think they negotiate the 911 contract when they don't. We need some help on it. We're hurting on our 911 funds.
Okay,
wait a minute. Gene?
Thought he
I was
was.
having seizures.
Okay, I do know we have, are we finished?
Yeah.
Casey?
So, to finish my statement, when we did this vote, not this exact board, the board before, where Ryan was chairman, we voted to hire an attorney to help us deal with this negotiations. We've not hired an attorney, we still don't have an intergovernmental agreement. So, my question for you, is 911 a legal board, considering it wasn't a board until the intergovernmental agreement was signed, and it ain't been signed in, what do you say, 17? 8 years now? How are they operating as a legal board without the intergovernmental agreement being signed?
Mr. Attorney.
We're working on that. Drew Bunch.
We've worked on it for 8 years, boy.
I think I got
I
this.
wasn't doing it. I'm doing it now. I talked to Drew Bunch, he's the chairman of that committee. He says they're willing to change the stuff that you guys are concerned about. They're willing to decrease their board membership. They're willing to pay us more money. Now, I've talked to him. Just let us get going on it. Just give us a chance.
And it was purely a dollar for me, for the reason to offer to go. And I think I can work with everybody now. I don't think that would be a problem. But, you know, but there needs to be some explaining to the see, I think half the Gallatin County board, and
maybe speaking out of turn here, they don't really do a good job of separating themselves from 911. So they don't understand that they're really not 911. You know, it's a separate entity, so.
Just like Roy made the comment, they're willing to pay us more money. Gallatin County has nothing to do with paying us a dime.
Right.
That's only 911. But Gallatin County always wants to get involved in what 911 is gonna pay us when they don't have 2 cents in it.
Well, I mean, it's $1 million a year cost for us to operate dispatch.
And how much do we receive, Whipper, from 911?
120,000.
Yes.
And here's our pay 210.
Yes.
Yes,
Call
Chuck.
for the vote.
Yes.
Call for the vote.
He calls for the vote, I agree.
Just say that this is the step to move forward. That's where I'm at with this. That's why I'm going with this guy.
Right. Danny Gibbs,
No.
Kurt Hustedy,
No.
Gene Ellis,
Yes.
Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Oldham,
Yes.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Travelsted,
No.
Chuck DePriest,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
No.
Jay Williams,
Yes.
6 yes.
Thank you. And I took a while, but, we'll get there. Next on the appointments, you'll see Alex Garnett. He currently serves on the board of review, and I would like to reappoint him. The reappointment that is expiring, that will expire, May of 2028. So I'll entertain a motion for Mr. Garnett. Motion by Justin Travelsted, need a second. Second by Danny Gibbs, roll call vote please.
Kurt Hustedy,
No.
Gene Ellis,
Yes.
Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Oldham,
Yes.
Ryan Lambert,
Yes.
Justin Travelsted,
Yes.
Chuck DePriest,
Yes.
Casey Perkins,
Yes.
Danny Gibbs,
Yes.
Jay Williams.
Yes. And I will say before moving on, these people are not easy to get. Cheryl, am I right?
Yes, you are.
They are in fact, we are blessed to have the three that we have.
Yes, they have to be certified by Illinois Department of Revenue and complete
And we pay them a bunch of money too, don't we?
Chairman receives 1,200 a year and members receive that.
1,200 a year for the chairman. So, thank you very much. Kathy Bush, County Board, filling Mike McInnes's, it says remaining term, but we changed that. Where's the motion? You got it?
It would be to fill Mike McInnes's position through November 30th of 2028.
There you go.
I have a question.
Sure.
So why did the chair decide to put a person that is on the ballot, that is running for an election of 4-year term, in on this position that is less than a year? That actually knocks that person out of running for an
No,
elected position.
you're wrong. It does not.
So she's gonna stay on the ballot, run, be elected,
You can be
to hold
elected.
2 positions at the same time
No,
until,
you're wrong. You're wrong by saying that. No.
so explain, because I know the Republican Party gave you a name that was not involved in the ballot. I know past practices are not rule of thumb anymore.
That's true.
Only when it's convenient.
So
When it was worth.
I don't feel like I should, you know, so anyway,
But we're still gonna.
Kathy. did I get a motion in a second? I need a motion by Roy Odom. I need a second for Kathy Bush, second by Colin Horton. Roll call vote, please.
Gene Ellis,
Yes.
Todd Horton,
Yes.
Roy Odom,
Yes.
Brian Lambert.
This isn't a vote against Kathy. I've known Kathy for 20 years. It's about the process, so I'm gonna vote.
Justin Travelstead,
No.
Chuck DePriest,
No.
Casey Perkins,
This is not a vote against Kathy either. I think she will make a great board member, but I think the people of this county should get the right to vote on her, not appointed by this board. So my vote is no.
Danny Gibbs,
Don't go no.
Kurt Hestetti,
I want to reiterate what they said. It's not a vote against Kathy, but because you have a Craig Williams sign in your yard, I'm a no vote.
Jay Williams,
Yes,
Was the truth. I'm not gonna.
so it fails. So what we will do is we'll come up, I have 30 days, or this board has 60 days. Because we're, and your
Today is
motion,
39.
well, the last day is
Today is
March
39.
the 18th. March
So we'll need to
18th.
call a special board meeting.
Well, you know, we can call a special board meeting, but it's left up to the board what the board's going to do.
Well, we can call a
It's another
special
name.
meeting, Vice Chairman. So why don't you call
Because after 39 days, we're at 39 days. The law states we have to do it within 60 days.
I know
But
that,
it becomes an award of the state's attorney or the courts.
I got it.
Could I ask?
So with all that being said, visitors, anybody, yes, stand up, you have 5 minutes.
I just have a question to all of you, all of you Republicans. Does our county chair, person here not count any weight? When he gave a name to you, does it not count? Because the past practice has always been, the name he brings to you, you don't have to accept it, but at least let them know that he gave you a name. I'm just curious, so the Republican Party has no say-so when facing other Republicans on anything?
Sure,
Okay.
it has to be a Republican. I took the one that stepped forward and said, I want to be a county board member. This person went downstairs and she picked up her petition. She circulated her petition. People actually signed her petition. When it comes time to file it, she filed her petition. She had the will, she had the guts, the courage to step forward and say, I want to run for county board because I want to serve the people of Sling County. So that's exactly why I chose her. I wanted somebody that stepped up. I didn't want to go with somebody that didn't make the effort at all whatsoever. And that's exactly why I went with Kathy.
Kathy has
So,
my vote. I
So
vote for
I
this.
had the floor. So that, I just answered your question. I hope I answered everybody's questions. That's why I went with Kathy Bush. I'm proud of Kathy Bush and I'm sorry you got voted down.
I'm proud of Kathy Bush, and I love Kathy Bush, and she's a very dear friend of mine. But I'm thinking about the other 11 people who were on that list, that maybe, they too got petitions and signed them and everything else.
Those other people did not
question.
come to me, just a minute, those other people did not come to me and tell me that they would like to serve this position. If they would have done that, they would have been considered. Kathy did, Kathy wanted the position. Am I
And
right?
Beth, let's
come to you.
So I don't wanna get, go much further with this, but you
Well, I'd
have,
like to say something.
no, Jeremy,
I'm just asking, did you ask her, or did she ask you?
I don't remember how it went, do you? We talked and we thought it would be good for Saline County, however it went, I don't know.
Okay, well, my question was the same as, Beth's, on the other candidates, that was the reason I was asking, was there a conversation there?
Yes, I saw him met him for the first time when we had our little get together and he come in and we shook hands and I said, glad to meet you. That's as far as it went. Yes.
So, Beth, I'll tell you, we had our
If you start talking politics,
No.
I'll sit you down.
Don't tell me,
Yes,
everybody,
yes, I will.
well, you can tell me,
I will.
but I will ignore you. Because I'm a member of this Saline County Board and I'm gonna have a voice. And I have a comment to say, just like anyone else that has a comment. If they wanna give it, they can. That's what we call a democracy. Look it up. Beth, it's like when we had the Central Committee, we sponsored a meet or a forum at the city council. And then comes along Republicans, other Republicans, not on the Central Committee, that has something in Morelos. That's the divide. It's the divide in the Republican Party. We're not gonna acknowledge the Central Committee, or they're not. I do, because at some point, we're gonna have to come together and work together. At some point, we've gotta set our differences aside and say, hey, I have to work with Jay Williams, and he'll have to work with you, or he has to work with me. Now, if he don't want to, then fine, we just continue that divide. But where does it get us as a county? I don't think it gets us anywhere. So I think at the end of the day, we have a rupture. And until we come together as a people and say, hey, let's put our differences aside, Jay Williams. Let's put our differences aside, Jessica Ward. Let's put our differences aside, Kurt Hussevi. Then we're stuck in that. We're stuck. And we've got a Democrat candidate here in the back that I'm going to support. Not because it's a D or an R, but it's because we have to come together as a people in this county and start working together. And I don't know that we will in this election cycle. It may take 5 election cycles, but Jay, you know what exists, and you guys know what exists. We all do. It's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, but I'll talk about it. And we know it's there, but we should have went, in my opinion, we should have went with what the Republican Central Committee Chairman suggested, but we didn't, and they won't. I don't know, maybe better days are ahead, I hope.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Douglas?
If you would like, Mr. Chairman, I do have another exercise mark.
Send it to me, and we will go from there.
I would like to know now.
I say we take it up now.
You can't do
Let's
that.
get ready.
We can't go now.
Let's take it up now, let's fill the vacancy.
Nathan Summer. Nathan Summer.
Okay, so thank you.
I'll make a
It'll
motion.
make the minutes. She put it in the minutes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second by Chuck. Please, all in favor? All in favor?
Well,